Hello guys, Orath here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a very strong Squealing Pig build for the Necromancer, which will work great both for farming and for dungeons. And yeah, you will see what I'm talking about, but the key here is that we're going to ride around on this bony pig. It's not really that beautiful, but we are also a Necromancer, so we're used to being ugly. That's fine, because that's a part of our identity. But anyways, the skills I'm using here, you can see at the bottom right that I'm using Bone Spikes, Dark Curse, Corpse Lance and Bone Spirits. And what I can also mention here is that unfortunately you can't use the primary attack while riding this pig, but that is because the hog is so wild, so you need to have your hands ready at all times. So spamming primary attacks would be very dangerous and you would fall off and it would not work. So that's why we can't use the primary attack. It's really nice build. I wouldn't say it's the strongest one in terms of single target DPS. That's why I wouldn't use it in a raid. But for dungeons and farming it's super good because it has a lot of AoE effects and you will also pull a lot of monsters in. I will explain to you how in just a little bit. But as you can see here, it looks kind of cool, and we are here in a terror rift and we're just slaughtering everything. So yeah, I really enjoy it. But let us first take a look at the set pieces, and here I'm using 2 pieces of V2 Surge, and this is because I need beneficial effect duration. It's important to have a lot of beneficial effect duration to get 100% uptime on this pig. And of course I also want a lot of cooldown reduction so that yeah, it will also help me to have 100% uptime on the pig. And this is of course important for most builds in Diablo Immortal, so make sure to stack as much of these attributes as possible going forward. On top of that I also use 4 pieces of Grace because we do deal a lot of ticks of damage using this build, so it works very well with the 4-piece effect. So every 5 hits to an enemy we will also deal a burst of damage thanks to the 4 Grace effect. Finally I also use 2 pieces of Banquet of Ice because we will also apply quite a lot of dot effects thanks to the legendary gems. So this allows us to increase damage a little bit. But of course when it comes to set combinations, feel free to experiment. The most important thing is 2 pieces of V2 Surge, and after that you can have some fun and try different combinations out. There are a lot of combinations that will work great, so please don't be afraid of doing so. We of course also have to talk about the essences. In the helmet slot I use Vale Hallow's Head, and this is basically what allows us to ride on this pig. So yeah, it's the star of this build. You can't ride a pig without this essence, and yeah, this is really nice. I know that the game says that this is some type of rhino, but yeah, if you look at it, it looks more like a pig with a horn. So it's some type of fantasy pig. I like that a lot more because it's squealing and it's more fun to ride on a pig compared to a rhino. And in the shoulder slot I use Linger Mantle because I use Dark Curse in this build and it's very important. I'm gonna explain to you why soon. But this shoulder gives us 100% uptime on the Dark Curse because it increases the duration of the Dark Curse by 39%. And remember now that I also have a lot of cooldown reduction. If you don't have a lot of cooldown reduction, you might not have 100% uptime on the Dark Curse. So once again, very important to focus on that. The cap is 30%, so just remember that. If we move on and take a look in the shoulder slot, this essence is also very important for this build because whenever a target is hit by Dark Curse, it will be pulled in. And as you can see here, I have a lot of AoE effects, and I want the monsters to be pulled into those AoE effects because then I will deal a lot of damage to them. And yeah, it's also really fun because when you use this chest, it's like you're vacuum cleaning the entire area, especially when you combine it with the pants I'm soon gonna show you. And yeah, all of the enemies will be vacuum cleaned into the bag, which is you, and then they will die immediately because all of those AoE effects will eat them alive. Yeah, and we can actually talk about the pants already. I use Fulsome Feeding. This is an older essence, and this is what gives me this huge red AoE effect. And it's good because the range is so big, so it will pull in enemies from afar thanks to the chest, and that's why I also use the shoulder because I want to have 100% uptime on this. It's really cool. And what's also good about these pants is that having these pants on is like ordering the premium bundle with unlimited corpses, because this will also spawn a lot of corpses that will help you to have 100% uptime on a strong corpse lance. So it's very good, of course. But let's move on. In the first main hand slot I use Eel Tongue. This is just a damage increase on my Bone Spirits. You can experiment maybe with some other Bone Spirit essences here, but I think that this one works fine. In the first offhand slot I use Death's Aggress, and this is what allows me to spawn these Bone Spirit skulls that rotates around me. And you have to use this skill when you are close to enemies, so it works super well here in Terror Rifts, for example, because there will be a lot of enemies next to you all the time. And yeah, it's just a really good looking skill. And we can also top it off with the second main hand slot, which is called Blighted Crop. And what this does is that whenever one of these blue skulls deals a critical hit, there will be like a Nova effect. It's very similar to the Lightning Nova of the Wizard, but if you pay close attention here, you can see that sometimes when a blue skull hits an enemy, there's this effect of a lot of soul fires that goes out, and it will hit a lot of enemies. So it's really good. It's not the strongest damage effect, but it looks really cool, and yeah, there's nothing better to put in this slot. So yeah, I really like it. Finally, we can also take a look in the second offense slot where I use Departed Appetite, and you know this essence from before. This is the Corpse Lance essence that summons these bone spikes that orbits around us, and whenever you use this skill, it will consume corpses around you. That's why the pants is so good to use, because this will basically be like an unlimited supply of corpses for you. So also very cool. Let us also take a quick look here at the legendary gems. It's nothing out of the ordinary. You can feel free to experiment here, but my setup in this video is Blood Flow, Bloodsoaked Jade, Bottled Hope, Rolling Consequence, Colossus Engine, Wolf Fort, Morn Skull and Spectagloss. And of course you might not have all of these gems in your arsenal. What I can recommend is that you use a lot of damage modifier gems, so you could perhaps use the new 1-star gem Surging Sea or Berserker's Eye. You can use Fervent Fang, Pain Clasp. There's a lot of great options, and they don't have to be super high rank. You will still perform well. So feel free to experiment here, but of course it's important to have at least a decent gem setup for any type of content in Diablo Immortal, so make sure that you have the correct ones rather than the highest rank ones, and don't chase resonance, because resonance is not that important, especially for PvE content, so just keep that in mind. But let us of course also talk quick about the Paragon settings I'm using. There are many different options you can use here. If you want to have a little bit more movement speed, you can use the Brawler Paragon and increase your size, because that will also increase your movement speed. If you need a lot of damage, you can go to Slinger Paragon or perhaps Slayer Paragon. I currently here in this video use the Vanquisher category, because I just want to increase the drop rate of items. But yeah, feel free to play around here with whatever suits you best. There are a lot of different combinations that will work well. But before we put the pig to rest, and I don't mean kill it of course, because it's already dead, it's an undead pig. I just want to showcase a dummy run as well. And I know that it might be difficult when you look at a video like this to know whether the damage output is good or not, because everyone has different stats or different legendary gems and etc etc. But when I do these videos, and I often compare with how well I perform with other dungeon builds, so I'm gonna give you my conclusions based upon that. And what I can say about this build is that the AoE damage is really good. It's also nice because this Dark Curse effect will pull all the mobs into one group, so it will also help a lot of your teammates to deal damage in a concentrated area. So also if we look at the DPS meter here, I would say that this build is at par with a lot of other Necromancer builds that I've been playing, and also a lot of other builds for other classes that I've been playing. Where it lags a little bit is perhaps single target damage. So if you are the one who is supposed to carry a challenge dungeon, for example, then I would maybe recommend to play a build with more single target damage. But if you're playing in a strong group, this build is actually very good, because as I said, it will pull the mobs together and help your teammates to kill it a lot faster. And then the single target will not be as much of an issue. So yeah, you can see here that the damage output is great here in Forgotten Tower. The damage output is not everything. It also has decent mobility, of course, but what's also important is that it's fun to play a build. And I would say that this build is kind of unique compared to a lot of other builds. You have this pig that we can ride on. You have this suck-in effect in a very huge area. Of course, there are some elements that we can recognize from other type of builds, but I would say that it feels fresh to play this build, and I enjoy to try out new things. And here I try out a new build that is also performing very well. So I hope that you also have fun if you try this out. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And of course, I will also post my Discord server link in the description of this video. There you can meet a lot of cool players with a lot of knowledge. You can ask me questions there. I often post builds in advance on that server, and yeah, it's just a great community. And yeah, before we say goodbye here, of course we need to do a victory lap here as well, because he's so happy before going to bed. And until next time, I want to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening wherever you are. And of course, to all my clan members in Nyx, I would also like to say Voruk Nyx, Sholak Sol. So bye bye.
Subscribe to Oral's channel. Yeah. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Women channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. To my cry to join us happy. Yeah. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Women channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel.